When was the first time you ever set up a home network? How long ago? And if you say last week, then I'm going to throttle you. Because my first home networking experience was a catastrophe. It was in the days of Windows 98, and I went through a hub, and even with two computers sitting in the same room, it was an absolute mess. I thought that I would never, ever want to network computers. It's gotten easier over time, thankfully, not just with the advent of wireless networks, but certainly with routers and switches instead of just plain old hubs. DHCP has helped a lot. Of course, newer operating systems have helped to a great degree with better networking stacks, better compatibility. Even when I had those computers connected to a network, I still used the sneaker net. And to a certain degree, I use the sneaker net today. Not for everything, but for a good variety of tasks. And if you've never installed a sneaker net, it's the easiest networking you could ever do. Look it up, SneakerNet. I do have a top 5 list that I'm going to scan for you. I'm not going to read everything, but we'll post it to the corresponding blog post at chris.pirillo.com, submitted by Matt Smith, or Matt's Tech, in the chat room. He's got the way to hardwire a home network, some things you got to keep in mind. It starts out with, number 1, getting the cable and accessories. It sounds like, well, duh, that's what you want to get, but he dives into a few more reasons and decisions that you need to make. As far as quantity goes, you could measure exactly where the cable will be run, but an educated guess can be just as effective. However, it might help to overshoot your estimate by about 10% so that you don't end up missing some cable. As for type, there are 2 major categories of network cable, at least today, Cat5e and Cat6. The main difference between the two is related to data transmission capabilities. Cat5e is usually capable of approximately 100 megahertz of bandwidth, or capable of 100 megabit speeds, while Cat6 comes in around the 200 megahertz mark. Yes, Cat6 is better. It's certainly built for more communications across the cable, gigabit speeds, although Cat5e can handle gigabit speeds. It's usually better to use Cat6. Cat6 is more expensive, but if it's in your price range, check with your, wherever you're buying it from, then by all means go for it. If not, Cat5e will produce excellent speeds, especially when compared to wireless. Well, most wireless at least. There are also some accessories that you'll need to purchase. Pick up some low voltage wall boxes, 1 for each wall plate, RJ45 jacks, and that's like a little network port, or for the network cable I should say, and face plates to cover it all up with. You might also want to think about getting some fish tape or glow sticks to make it easier to run the cable down the wall. Number 2, cut the holes for the wall jacks. Before you cut anything, be sure to make sure where the studs are in the wall. Now, if you don't happen to have Patrick Swayze, or what? Oh, sorry, he didn't write that. I was studs in. You can do this by either using a stud finder or just by knocking on the wall. If it sounds hollow, there is no stud in that location. If it sounds and feels solid, then don't cut there. You've got a stud. Once you've found an appropriate location to cut into Brad Pitt, hold up the low voltage plate to the wall, trace the outline, and score it lightly. Next, cut along the lines you've scored until the piece of sheetrock falls out. It helps to have a keyhole saw to do this, but a serrated kitchen knife will also do the job. Yeah. This is where I'd expect like one of those, electric or, battery-operated saw things. Yeah, that was a real technical one, Chris. You can throw in the stud jokes, but you can't even pick up the jargon. Note, it helps to pick up location close to other wall plates, such as cable and or power. That way you don't have to worry about drilling a hole in the attic to get the cable out from inside the wall. Number 3, insert the low voltage boxes. If you scored and cut correctly, then the low voltage wall box should fit snug inside the hole. Once it's in, fold up the pieces of metal hanging down to secure the box. Number 4, run the cable. Take the roll of cable you purchased and use a fish tape or glow stick to fish one end of the cable through the hole and up into the wall. Again, if the wall plate is not close to others, you may need to drill a hole to get the cable up out of the wall. Otherwise, you should just be able to run it through the existing hole. He goes on to explain further directions. Number 5, wire the jacks. In the standard cable, there are usually 8 wires as described below. White orange, orange. White green, blue, green, white brown, brown. For RJ45, there are 2 major wiring schemes that specify where the wires should be placed in the jack, T568A and T568B. If you're wiring from computer to computer, it's like a crossover cable, then you'd use A. If you're going from computer to like a hub, switch, router, etc., use B. The B scheme is demonstrated above in the list above, but most jacks have a label on the side with both schemes listed. And if you've never crimped your own network cable, then you're probably like the average person. Number 6, finish it up. Pop the jack inside the faceplate's hole and screw the faceplate into the low voltage box. Finally, go get some patch cables and connect your components. Some other networking accessories you might want to pick up is a tester, and they range in price. Networking tester kits, they'll tell you, some of them will tell you what speed, if it's, first of all, if it's on, second of all, which speed it's capable of running at least the connection coming into the box if you're coming in through a centralized point. And that's kind of what I've got at home here now. Is a home network that was built when the house was built, which is really, really nice. I've never really had to wire my own. I don't know if I could go that far. It works. Well, hopefully it would not do that. And if it did, you're really, running into problems. The only thing that I wish had happened when this house was built is that they used Cat 6 cable instead of Cat 5e. I'm happy to have Cat 5e, but I think my home network would have been a little more compatible with the traffic I'm pushing across it were I on Cat 6. I think the quality of cables says a lot, and knowing that I was probably using contractor grade Cat 5e cable, it works, and I don't have any collisions on my network, at least according to my reports, running in software. So everything must be okay throughout my walls. And anyway, if you guys have got any other home network troubleshooting tips, configuration tips, I know one of our sponsors, SolarWinds, has a suite of networking software that you can download, including a couple of free tools. And Jen in the chat room actually works for that company. I don't know if Jen's awake. She might not be. She may be away from her desk. AFK. Anyway, my email address is oh, there she is. JenM311. She's here. Woo. Anyway, my email address is chris@pirillo.com. And you're also welcome. There's a link for the website. You're also welcome to swing by our website where we've got the chat room and people are typically talking tech. Sometimes people are asking questions. Generally, if you send technical questions to me, I'm not able to address them. I'm much more capable of addressing broader questions. Every day people have asked me for my advice, and chances are if you're asking for my advice, the people in the chat room already know what my advice is going to be, so you can just as easily ask them as you can ask me. So, welcome to our chat room anytime, day or night. We're waiting for you, so what are you waiting for? We're at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.